Hi, I'm Molly.
And I'm Jamie, and this is our From the Pasture with Hired Hand podcast. As the owners of Hired Hand website software, we've been developing websites and creating internet marketing strategies for livestock breeders for the past 10 years.
The majority of our customers are involved in the breeding of registered animals, such as Texas Longhorns, Highland cattle, horses, and white-tailed deer, where the pedigrees are very important. The From the Pasture with Hired Hand podcast examines many of the differences in raising pedigreed livestock for maximum profit. Join us and learn what we're covering today.
All right, Jamie. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the upcoming Texas Longhorn Legacy Sale. Do you want to tell our listeners when and where and some of the details?
This year's Legacy Sale is held March 18th and 19th in Grapevine, Texas at the Embassy Suites right there by the Bass Pro Shop. The schedule on Friday consists of cattle viewing and vendor shopping, which is all day long. The social hour and cocktails start at 5 p.m. And then at 6:30 is the heifer for charity in Calcutta. Saturday morning, cattle viewing again is all day long and vendor shopping. The sale itself starts at 3 p.m. Following the sale is the heifer for charity awards and presentation. And then Sunday is loadout from 7 to 10 a.m. So just make sure all cattle are out by 10.
And how many lots are in the sale this year?
There are 65 animal lots, and then the very last lot of the sale is the Millennium for Charity Champion Bronze.
And the Legacy Sale is hosted by the Legacy Group. Do you want to outline who makes up that group?
Yes, the Legacy Group consists of Mike Casey, Debbie Bowman, Ann Gravitt, Lane Kraft, and Bear Davidson. And then Chase Fasut helps the group as well.
And so for folks who maybe are thinking about purchasing at the sale, can you kind of outline the list of haulers that they're promoting in their catalog?
Yeah, in their catalog, it says that Ron Bailey and Wes Clark are both hauling for the sale, and their phone numbers are in the catalog, so you can reach them there. Both are available via phone call or text message as well.
And we'll be there doing Hired Hand Live for the sale.
Correct. Yep, we will be. We'll be there doing Hired Hand Live. We'll be there all weekend at our booth. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to stop by.
So Jamie, I know that you and I have gone to the Legacy Sale for years and years. We used to have to buy really fancy dresses, or fancy for us at least. And things have kind of changed. So it's a little bit more casual now, but always great music, great company. Obviously really cool if you haven't been there before to see the animals come into a hotel ballroom in the sale ring. We have some breeders who are joining us on today's podcast that we're going to ask about their favorite parts and then kind of get to know why they enjoy coming to this sale every year, whether it be buying or selling. And that's Mike and Callie Smith with Cold Copper Ranch. So should we bring them in?
Yep, let's bring them in.
All right. Welcome, Mike and Callie. Thanks for joining us today.
Hello.
Thanks for
nice to
having
be
us.
here.
So you were just telling us that it's a little chilly in Texas today, right?
I would say
Yes.
chili.
Even though we're both in short sleeves, I see this.
Yeah,
But
sitting by the fire.
yeah.
All right. Well, hopefully it warms up soon.
Yeah.
All right. So why don't you all tell us what made you decide to be one of the sponsors this year?
Well, the main reason is we didn't really have an animal ready to consign to this sale, and we wanted to be a part of it because it's a lot of fun, and we really enjoyed ourselves last year. And so I got in touch with the Legacy Group and asked them, and they hooked us up with futurity sponsorship, and we're pretty excited about it.
So when you start consigning to this sale, because I'm assuming that you probably will, maybe next year and a couple of years down the road, what do you think you're going to look for when you're going to consign an animal to the Legacy Sale?
Well, I mean, for me, that's we're still really new at this, and so we're trying to learn. A lot of what we do is study, the old sale books. I try to keep them all, and I don't know, what do we call those around here, Mike? I forgot. What do you call them around here?
You kind of threw this at me pretty quick, but Gosh, the sale books are called horn porn in our
Yeah,
house, but
yeah,
I don't know.
they're
I don't know if
everywhere.
it fits every household. It just we just roll with it because everybody thinks the books are so important. It seems like they find a place and it was fitting. So thanks for busting that out on me for the first question there. By the way.
I
Anyways.
just, yeah, but that's how I've kind of learned on what goes to each sale. I've studied the books of the other sales, and it just kind of helps me understand what fits in and what goes well. And, checking the sale averages, which, by the way, you guys put that stuff out, and that is super awesome and helpful information. But overall, the legacy is pretty special to us. And we think Nancy brought, what you might call a legacy animal. That's the same thing. We want to do the same thing.
Yeah.
So for the listeners who maybe don't do as much research as you or have been living under a rock for the past few years, tell us a little bit more about Nancy and what you're referring to.
Well, we're referring to Lucky Dice from last year.
And you guys purchased her. Yes. And she is beautiful. Do you want to tell us a little bit about her?
Well, she's just, she's the legacy around here.
Yeah. She'll turn everybody's heads when they come and visit.
Everybody wants to see her.
She's beautiful in every way, and gave us a beautiful heifer calf, and we're just ever more excited about that. But it was a neat experience. It was fun, and for us, we was new in the industry, and the COVID was going on, and none of the auctions were happening, and then that was really first auction where people started coming out, and we was even. It was kind of on and off there for a while if the auction was even going to happen or not. And then we get there and we seen her for the first time. And I just told my wife, I said, I don't want to be setting any world records on bidding on these animals. And maybe I should have been a little bit more clear. So we didn't break a record animal on one animal, but she thought it was okay to buy two, as long as we were still under the world record threshold there.
Yes.
So you got to really clarify to the spouse or the significant other when you're going into an auction scenario of what exactly you're going to spend on these things. But no regrets. She's been absolutely wonderful. Every day we look forward to going out and checking her and seeing her, and and all the beautiful animals for that fact. It's been the most rewarding thing ever.
Lucky.
We've had a lot of fun with them, and it really all started being there at the Legacy Live almost a year ago, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So this next question is pretty loaded then for all of the listeners. So do you plan to buy again this year?
Woo!
My checkbook is still still smoking from last year, but
there's always room in the budget for a Longhorn, right? We'll see. There's so many great ones in there, and look at what the online bidding is doing to the industry. It's changing up, and how much excitement there is out there right now with seeing the bids come in and the interest in the different animals.
We're still like 20 days out or something, and to see what some of the prices are at, and it's exciting.
Yeah,
makes it even more exciting.
Yep, for sure.
So probably no chance you're going to show us your hand and tell us who you're interested in.
No.
You tried, listeners.
She's like, nice try, but no, it's really tough. And the truth is like one day you just go back and forth. One day it's one, and the next day you're like, you know what? And you kind of look at it again, and you take a second look, and our book is like worn out all along here. We've gone through it so many times. It's just crazy, and it seems like no matter when you get the chance, you always find yourself sitting down, going through it, and you're always just you're guessing what it's going to sell for, what it looks like in person, what is the industry thinking. But because there's truly so many greats in there, I think it's going to be an awesome atmosphere and a great auction.
So do you have to agree on your purchases, or sometimes do you surprise each other and you look over and one of you's got your hand up and you didn't know anything about it?
I'm just kind of the feed truck operator of the operation, so I don't get much say. I get Callie is the genetic guru, and she just gotten into it, and that's something that she loves. I have an interest in it, but she is I kind of think genius about it. I don't know how people can just remember all these names and where they come out of and all the history on them and stuff. I I'm
We agree,
still
though.
long and short.
Yeah.
I support her, and she's better at picking out cows than I am. So it seems like that would be the better decision for me.
You've been to the sale last year. That was your first year there? What did you enjoy most about the sale last year?
Before we went, we'd been to really only we'd been to maybe 2 of the horn showcases in Lawton. So that had been our only experience. We didn't buy any animals. We didn't even have Longhorns at that time. So we went, my nephew JD and his wife Liz, and with JO Longhorns, they would get us up there and because it was close for us. And so we'd go and experience it, and, a little more interest, here and there. And then during COVID, we got on that online Texhoma sale and just kind of went a little crazy. And then from there, that's just, it kind of.
Well, I find it easier just to hit the little click mouse button than it is to hold the bidder's card up. And so that online thing is great. And that's where we got the big start, really.
Yeah. But we were excited to go and bid at, a live auction, and they wanted us to check this one out. And so we checked it out. And of course we've seen, first Lucky Dice being there and then Trixie being there. And we were like, we just have to go, period, and see these animals and experience it. And, and I got on and watched a few YouTube videos of the previous sales. And so it kind of gave me an idea of, what it was like. But we really like the whole atmosphere. It's real fun.
Well, you can walk out of your hotel room and just walk right into the aisle of the sale cattle there. And I think that's neat, because what I see is sometimes it gets a little hectic of people trying to run back and forth and feed the animals and stuff. So I think bringing everybody together, they're around the hotel and seeing them there is always neat. And then walking right out the back door and seeing the cows is a neat experience.
Mm-hmm. Jamie and I were just talking about how that's our favorite part too, just kind of having it all in one location, not having to drive to the sale barn. It's really nice.
When I was a kid, it was always a big deal to go to a hotel with a swimming pool. And so I couldn't imagine being a kid now. You get a swimming pool, you get elevators, and you get cows right out the back door. I mean, that's good as it gets, right?
Right, exactly. Okay, so let's switch gears a little bit away from the legacy sale, and let's talk about the very first time that you've consigned an animal to a sale. What advice do you have for others? What have you learned?
The very first sale was the Horn Showcase this year. We consigned one animal. It was difficult to go out there and look through your animals and think about, you really don't know where they're going to go. So that's a little scary. And just, deciding which one that is going to leave the ranch. So it was difficult. But, and going out and watching her load onto the trailer to leave, that was really sad. And I did not enjoy that at all. But we were very lucky where she went. She went to an awesome family, awesome ranch in Oklahoma. And so that was, we were really happy about that. But that was the first one. And
I guess we're just really getting started into this. But what we're learning is it's one of the hardest decisions, when you look at that and you say, what animal fits what sale. And, I think that's probably the toughest decision that every breeder has is what you're going to let go and what you're going to keep and,
pass on.
and pass on. And so just a tough decision all the way around.
Well, do you have any advice for new consigners in 2022? I know yourselves are new, but do you have any advice just out of the experience that you have had?
Looking at the sale books, the past sale books has really been, it's been good for me to do that.
For me, what I've learned is to consign an animal is quite a process. I mean, you got to, figure out what a you're going to give up, and then you got to do all your advertising, and you got all your health paperwork. And what I'm seeing is that's a whole job in itself.
Yeah.
Almost. I see Callie and JC working on that all the time, trying to stay ahead of all of that stuff. And then, thank goodness for you folks have been able to help out so much on putting the advertisement stuff together. I mean, you guys have come up with some great materials. So
and
hats
having
off
the
to you.
website helps us and
Yeah.
everything. But yeah, and it should be fun. You want it to be fun. We love going to the sales. It is, and it's enjoyable to us and to our daughter. She loves it. JC takes the pictures and helps us pick. She's probably better at ranching than we are. We're the ones crying, and she's like, "You guys, it's this guy. We got to move these guys. This is how it works."
We're trying.
Yeah, and then we have really good friends that told us that you can't have a conscience in the pimping game. So.
That was their advice to us when we called them. We called them like crying because we wasn't sure which one we wanted to let go. And he just told us, he says, you can't have a conscience in the pimping game. And I was like, man, that's I don't know if I should take that as good advice or what, but it kind of, you get sad. I guess, yeah, that makes sense. So.
It's true.
I like it.
Love what you're hearing? Be sure to check out our Pickup Truck Confessions. It's a video series where we hop in the truck or rental car and interview a variety of breeders about what drives their passion for their livestock, how they got started in the breed of their choice, marketing tips, and more. And now, back to the podcast.
All right, so I'm going to put you on the spot. I'm going to ask a question that wasn't really on the list. It's kind of related to one, but so you said you do a lot of research. You look at a lot of past catalogs. What has been your favorite animal to ever have sold at a sale that you've researched? Not necessarily just the legacy sale.
Well, I find it fascinating to, Trixie. I know she was one we also, but going and looking back and seeing actually how many times she sold and how much, what she's generated down the, in that way is very interesting.
Yeah, it's exciting to see
favorite animal.
Yeah, over time, the revenue that they've generated, throughout, from starting young and then, different breeders through the years.
And there's a couple here, that in the sale this week that have sold a couple times for pretty good amounts. So it's interesting to see how those pile up. But favorite animal, I don't know. I mean, we haven't been to a ton of sales, but
who's your favorite one?
You got the gears are grinding.
Yeah.
You're going to start seeing smoke over ears. You're really asking those deep Longhorn questions. And,
I have to think. I mean, Lucky Dice for me is the favorite.
Yeah, that's
I
an
enjoyed
easy
that one.
go-to. That's not hard.
But watching the Danica video, that was pretty cool. That was pretty inspiring for sure.
Well, we was completely unaware because as being new to the industry, we started from the start and we didn't know nobody hardly and know nothing about anything. And when we learned of the video, we thought, well, this is crazy. And so you can go back now with technology and documentary, you can go back and watch that. And it was interesting to watch that. Mm-hmm. That would have been a pretty awesome evening to be there and in person and see that. And so the excitement that it generates, it's a neat experience.
All right, one last question, sale related. For the people that are coming from out of town, is there anything that you would suggest that they could do if they have downtime that's close to where the legacy sale is?
In Grapevine. Obviously they could go to Fort Worth and the stockyards and stuff like that. I don't know how close that really is though. Honestly, we didn't leave. We were satisfied right there. So for us, it was fun. Just
I'm sure in that
there.
whole Metroplex, you could find anything that you wanted to do if you put your phone.
We have some
Google
friends
search
coming in
to it,
from Nashville that are new Longhorn breeders. And so we may go out and hit some restaurants or something.
Now that restaurants are open this year, that's what we're looking forward to that for sure. Just, seeing the people, being able to visit with them. And we're new to the industry, so we quite don't know everybody yet. It's taken us a while to start being able to show up to these places, and it's usually so hectic. You're passing somebody with a feed bucket who's hauling something else, and you don't really get the time to talk to them. So this generates the atmosphere where people can kind of stop and slow down a little bit and cuss and discuss the animals, I guess, and give each other a hard time, I think is what it's all about.
Well, is there anything else you'd like to share about what you're looking forward to about the legacy sale, or any of your past memories?
We're just looking really forward to it. That's it. We are excited this year, and
excited to see all the new animals that are out and entered in, and excited to just for it to warm up.
Yeah,
it's probably gonna be hot out there now that I say that, but we'll take it. So
as long as it doesn't rain. I feel like the years it rains at that sale, it's a bummer.
Yes,
that's for sure.
Well, do you want to take a few minutes to talk to people about Cold Copper Ranch for those that may not know?
Well, sure, I guess. Do we got a few minutes?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, well, we just purchased a ranch back in 2018, and it had cows on it.
Yeah.
I grew up with cows, so I love cows. I'll take cows anytime. And Mike worked on farms and ranches when he was younger, so he never had animals, but he'd been around ranches and stuff. So that was a plus. But he quickly fell in love with them, and then we bought those Longhorns online at the Texoma Classic, and we just knew that was the direction we wanted to go. So we immediately just started building pens, and some opportunities came into play, and that was just got us going. And, but we, more about the ranch.
How'd you come up with the name for your ranch?
Well, the name of the ranch, it kind of, I guess, evolved from the commercial refrigeration business that I used to own, and I felt like the business is what made the ranch even possible. And so I wanted to rename the ranch a little bit somewhat after the business. And so in refrigeration, we used copper pipes to hook everything up. And I was always measuring the temperature of them. There was a lot that went on with it. And I was always fascinated by cold copper and how it would just build the ice on it. And so we just came up with Cold Copper, and then we put, cattle company, and we said, well, that sounds like a pretty cool name. And so that's the story, how it got started, a Cold Copper cattle company. And, just never thought we'd be raising Longhorns out here, but we truly love them. And I think they'll be out here for a long time.
So there's one other fun little thing that you guys have started recently with the ranch as well. You've started writing songs.
Oh,
yeah,
well,
that's
we
right.
did not start writing songs.
Well, I don't have much rhythm, and I don't know how to play very many instruments. But anyways, we had a family come out, wonderful family, come out and visit, and we knew they were musically talented, and we'd taken off on vacation or something and gone somewhere. And we said, "You guys hold down the fort while we're gone." And we kind of joked around. We said, "Hey, while we're gone, we need you to write a little song." And so they just went way above and beyond, and didn't only just write one song. They wrote a whole album, and the music was so good. The words and the lyrics was so inspirational, and seeing them work so hard on it, it just we just wanted to continue supporting them. So we went into a recording studio, and man, they worked day and night and whipped this thing out, and we couldn't be any more excited about it. It's all related to mostly the industry, and kind of the area that we're from, and ranching, and just how city folks can take and capture the image just from of spending a few days out here, and the words and the song that they put together is great. A couple of them have already came out. Longhorn Day, Delta Lucky Ace was one that came out.
Burnett County Backroads
came out, and the rest of the album's set to release in May. So we're really excited about it. But coming up to the Legacy Sale, I think we got to give one of them our favorite songs, I guess, that comes to mind is Done Lucky Dice, and that's a song that we had put together. Bruce starts it or Dale starts it with
Yeah,
pedigree
yeah,
reading a little bit,
yeah.
and then it just kind of rolls into the song, and it's a great song. It's just a little bit about our story and how it went that night, and then Dale at the end gets in with the
Bruce.
soul, or Bruce. I'm sorry, I get them all mixed up, guys. Comes in and finishes it out, and that's great. But we'll have to play a little sound clip of that next time we get together. And you guys, I hope to hear it at the Legacy too.
Yes, but they're getting shows together. I think a lot of people probably heard them at the Eddie Wood. They came down and played. Those weren't all songs from the album. They write songs. It's unbelievable. All of them write songs. So they have just a tremendous talent. But so yeah, that's what's been also super exciting.
Busy with that.
And their name is Family Shiloh. Is that right? Is that the name of the group?
So I brought one of the CDs here. So I guess if you can see.
There we go. Yep.
Here's a copy of one of them, and I'm sorry about the reflection there.
But
there you go.
Anyways, it's a beautiful little album, and actually some of it came out in the was it the Trails book?
Oh yeah, the Trails.
And talked a little bit about this, but it's really phenomenal. We're really excited and I hope everybody enjoys it. It's just some good ranch fun, and for that matter, if anybody else is interested in having any more songs written about their ranch or something, we'd be happy to put you in contact with this family. They're a great family. They listen to a few of your stories and they write you an album, and it'll be neat to share with friends and family and stuff, and let them listen to it, and hopefully they all enjoy it.
If you just sit out and look at your Longhorns all day like we do and listen to music, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard a few of their songs. I'm excited to hear the rest of them when their album releases in May.
Yeah. Well, thank you. It's all about the Longhorn industry. Everybody's been such an inspiration to us. Like Callie said, I hadn't been around cattle. I didn't really care for cattle too much. I came from the side of working on things, and it was. But now in kind of a second life, I've come to appreciate and really love it, and it's been fun to kind of have a different outlook on that, and we're excited to see where it takes us.
Well, thanks so much for taking a few minutes out of your day and joining us to talk about the Legacy Sale.
Well, thank you for having us, and don't forget about that online bidding. So the clock is ticking, so make sure we keep that going, and in that excitement rolling. We're excited to see everybody and just be up there and have a good time.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. We really appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. You guys have an awesome day.
Yep.
You too.
Some would say she's possibly one of the greatest cows of the breed. Let's rock and roll, Colonel. Let her rip.
All right, here we go. Well, the auction's on. It's 100 for a bid. Now two. Won't you bid and give me two? Take a look up on the block. She's a beautiful view. She's my done lucky die. She's 102. It's 11, a sign from above that I'm about to roll for my lucky dice love. Luck is a lady, and I'm sure that's true. But today that lady is a Longhorn too. Today that lady is a Longhorn too. Well, the auction now's got to sell them cows. I've done is the one that my heart's come to. At the end of the day, when the deal's all through, I know I done got lucky, 'cause I'm loving what I do. It's 11, a sign from above that I'm about to roll for my lucky dice love. Luck is a lady, and I'm sure that's true. But today that lady is a Longhorn too. Today that lady is a Longhorn too. Hey drover, let the dice roll over with a little luck now. She done win copper. Hey drover, let the dice roll over with a little luck now. She done win copper. Hey drover, let the dice roll over with a little luck now. She done win copper. Hey drover, let the dice roll over with a little luck now. She done win copper. auction's on. It's 100 for a bid now, two, won't you bid and give me two?